Happy Pi Day, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about one aspect of math. We're not going to be using a lot of big formulas. We're not even going to be using pi. But we are going to be counting on this episode of The Musicist. Hello and welcome to The Musicist. My name is Sage, and today we're going to be talking about time signatures. Again. Because last time I couldn't count. But I can count now. I'm not sick anymore. My mind is back. So now we can count. We can talk about time signatures. So I'm just going to completely do away with everything I talked about last time and start over. So what is a time signature? A time signature is found in the on the staff. You find it's the thing with numbers on the staff. Now there's a tempo marking above on a staff or a piece of music. That's where it's found. But what does it mean? A time signature tells you how many of what per bar. So the top number is how many. The bottom number is of what. So for example, the most common time signature is 4/4, which is 4 quarter notes. So there's 4 quarter notes in a bar. This seems really easy. But you can get into a lot of craziness with your time signatures. You can start lopping off things. You can say, hey, 3/4. So we take one of those away. That gives you a different feel. Personally, I think it feels a little bit rushed, like you never have time to finish a sentence, that you're always, I got something more to say, but I have to start over again. The bar stopped. You can add one. You can take that one that you took away from 3/4 and add it to another 4/4 and have 5/4. Now this one, it feels like you're lingering on something, like you want to go forward. There's a lot of anticipation, but you have to stay on this bar first. That's how it feels for me. Now, there's varying degrees of how rushed you can feel or how prolonged you can feel. So, for example, personally, I happen to think that 7/8, which is 7/8 notes per bar, which it's like 3/4 but an eighth note longer, so it's a little bit rushed, but it's not as rushed. I'm not gonna try and snap this time. I don't think. I'm just gonna say it. I may do some snapping at the end of just the ones that I say, the common ones, the ones that I can do. I'm not gonna try and do like 13/16 or something like that, which would be 13/16 notes. I'm probably not going to do that one. But again, that one is a little bit rushed. That one would be like 3/4, but it's a 16th note longer than 3/4. So it's just a little bit off. And then when you add in, like when you start getting into 8th notes and 16th notes, this is where you feel a lot of the groove. So you never would change on the downbeat. It would take, I take that back. You would change on the downbeat, but it wouldn't change every single time. Or on it, what I would say is strong beat. I like quarter notes personally. And since I make a lot of hip hop, I'm very, 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 very familiar with 4/4. 2/4, that's a variant of 4/4. It's literally 2 quarter notes. So it's in essence about half the time. It's like twice as fast. I should say it's twice as fast. But then again, you can play quarter notes and it would feel exactly the same as if you were playing 4/4 if you're playing in 2/4. Same thing if you're playing in 8/4. it would just feel like the bar length would be really long, but it would feel the same because you would have those nice multiples of 4. So I'm fine with that, and so I really like quarter notes. So 5/4, 3/4, I could play and I can understand those. I can wrap my head around those, and then a multiple of 3/4, 6/8. I can understand that because it feels like quarter notes to me. Personally, how I end up thinking and wrapping my head around 6/8 is thinking of it as me playing 2/4 but in triplets, which would be 1 triplet, 2 triplet would be the same thing as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 6/8. So that's kind of how I wrap my head around it. That's how I usually feel it. But I'm playing 6/8 instead of triplets. It's more notation than how you feel. In some regards, you can notate things in a certain way and make it really complicated, and it turned out to be a very simple rhythm, like really basic rhythm that everybody can snap or clap or really feels natural. But that's something that I can wrap my head around. But when you start getting into 7/8, to go back to what I was talking about before I went on this huge rabbit trail that I just finished chasing down. So when you're talking about 7/8, that feels like an upbeat to me. Like when you finish the bar on an upbeat, and so you don't you're on your way up and then you come right back down before you're supposed to, and that's what makes it feel like you were rushed or you cut off. And if you go longer, it feels like, for example, if you do something in like 11/8, which is like 5/4 but an extra eighth note longer, it feels like you landed and then you have to start again. Like you landed and then you're like, okay, I landed, do I go back up? And then you coming back up and then you have to come back down again. But you've already felt like you've landed and you're like, need to go on to another thought, musical idea, or you need to answer what you just asked. But the question goes on longer. And I'll talk about antecedent and consequent phrases later. It's call and response type thing. But that's a different episode. If you want to hear me talking about that, let me know in the comments. If not, then I won't, and nobody will ever know. Anyway, so talking, let's going back to talking about time signatures. What is this episode about? No one knows. I don't know. You don't know. We're just chasing rabbits. Maybe I've just completely lost it. I don't know. Yeah, time signatures. That's what we're talking about. Not my mental state. We're talking about time signatures. So, time signatures, and let me see if I can finally finish this thought that I had for the last 8 minutes that I've been trying to say this, and just rabbit trail after rabbit trail, tangent after tangent, another math reference, and that was another tangent. This is horrible. Time signatures. Feeling like you're on the upbeat. That makes it exotic for me. 7/8, feel when you land on that upbeat where you're like on the 3/4, but you cut it or you go and you have an extra eighth note, and you're on that upbeat, and so you feel like you're like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 2, and something like that. I wasn't counting. I was not really thinking about it. But like that thought of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 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 1 and 2. That always feels like it's not complete, because what we want to hear is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. But we don't get that. Same thing with something like 11/8, which would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3. No, that's just 5/4. It would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 1, 2. It would be 6, 1 and 2 and 3. So like you would have an extra eighth note afterwards. So it'd be 5 and 6, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See, I feel like I need to go shorter. I feel like I went too long at that point, but I haven't finished counting it. And that's the whole point. That's what it feels like. That's why it feels like such a groove. Whenever I hear something in a different time signature, for me, everything loses its place, because I don't know where you're at. I feel like you should have stopped here, or I feel like you should have gone on a little bit longer, but you're cutting stuff off, and I lose my place. For me, changing time signatures, if it's not the whole piece, if it's the whole piece of music, like I only get that feeling at the beginning of Pink Floyd's Money, and then you figure out the rhythm, and then everybody's playing, and so you can anticipate the longer you have. But if it's just for a second, like Dream Theater changes their time signatures like every 2 bars, and it's crazy, and I don't know what's going on, and it's an amazing experience to listen to, because your emotions just go crazy. You just feel like, wait, hold on, did we finish this one? Did we finish this thought? No, we didn't. We got cut off here, but we went too long here, so it averages out to about a 4/4, I guess. I don't know, but you never put the snare on the 2 and the 4. But it's such an amazing ride, and it tells such an amazing tale, because they're masters at dealing with the emotion, that counting, and that expectation, because that is something that is innate. Okay, here's where I go talking about math and showing how much of a nerd I am. In mathematics, and when talking about real numbers, the smallest group of numbers, the first thing that we think of is natural numbers. What is a natural number? Natural number is counting numbers starting at 1. It's what we've been doing literally since we can learn to count. That's the first thing we do. We don't start at 0. We don't start 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We just start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, and then all the way up as far and as long as you can go. And it's like, oh, wow, you reached 100 counting by ones? Wow, that's amazing. That's the first thing we learn. And so it is so ingrained in us that in music, when we're counting, and we do this subconsciously, nobody really always counts out loud or in their head. Most musicians talk about how they feel the rhythm, and now they can get used to feeling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 10, 2, and something like that, or a different time signature. I don't even know what time signature I was going to go for there. They can get comfortable counting in these different time signatures, but they're always talking about how it feels. And if you listen to some of them, they talk about short, long. So they're just like, and they break it up even more into more manageable chunks so that it feels complete. For example, a way to think of 7/8, for example, is 2, 2, 3. So it's two groups of 2/8 notes, and then a group of 3/8 notes. So that would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That makes sense because that has a rhythm to it, because now you're going 1. I said I wasn't going to snap, but I ended up snapping. cut your brother some snack. Must be hungry. Cut your brother some slack. So that, they break it up into, 2, 2, 3, or they subdivide the time signature. Not in the normal way of eighth notes, quarter notes, half notes, but they make it easier to count, and then they can feel it, because now instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you have a rhythm. You have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. That makes sense. A little bit. Now you may still feel like you're rushed, or personally, that actually, the last 1, 2, 3 feels like I should have stopped sooner. So I feel like I should have gone 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's what it feels like. But it's now offset by an eighth note, because now I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I don't know if any of this is making sense. I have spent a collective, I think, like almost 35 minutes talking about this on this podcast, between this last episode and this one, and I don't know if I'm actually making any sense. Anyway, it made sense to me, and I'm gonna stop here because that's about all the knowledge I can know. And if I talk any longer, I'm gonna start talking about polyrhythms, and I only know one polyrhythm, and so that's not really gonna help you out any. So I'll just tack polyrhythms on at the end. Real quick, a polyrhythm is where you play two rhythms simultaneously with two different limbs, and it creates another rhythm. For example, 3 against 4 is the only one I know how to play, and it sounds like this. That's it. Anyway, happy Pie Day. If you haven't got a pie, go get a pie. Now, I'm recording this on March 14th, so if you watch this any other day, you can still go get a pie, but it's not Pie Day anymore, unless you're watching it next year, or any other year that's March the 14th, in which case, hi, from the past, 2019. How's it going? Anyway, next time we'll talk about something, and hopefully I don't chase as many rabbit trails this time, or next time. Bye.